right, folks, like most dealerships and service centers, we do probably a few hundred winterizations, I imagine, a season up here in New England. We're going to go over what we do quickly, and it's more of an overview. But this time of year, our customers will be filling up our storage lot. We'll be full to capacity here in the next 3 weeks. And most, if not all of those customers will be bringing their RVs in to have them winterized prior to storing with us. And also we offer drive-through RV winterization. So all you got to do is make a phone call, make sure there's not too long of a line, spin on in, get in line, and we have our team go out and winterize your recreational vehicle. And some of the things that we offer along with winterization of the freshwater system is it includes a roof inspection. Super important, right? Don't want to put that RV away without having the roof checked. If you're watching our videos, you'll see what can happen when roofs aren't looked at and checked every year. And we also put anti-rodent products in the RVs, and we'll talk about those at some point, and the good and the bad and the indifferent on those products. And we also include the moisture eliminators that absorb the moisture out of the air, so that when you park your RV in the winter, we get rid of that extra humidity inside the living space, so that when we come back in the spring, it's not everything's not mildewy. So let's dive into the RV antifreeze that we use during winterizations. Now, not necessarily brand specific, but this is a very good brand, obviously. What our biggest concern with any brand of RV antifreeze is that it's alcohol free. Here at Bolt & Notch RV, we only use alcohol free -50 RV antifreeze. And there are several reasons for that. Number one is our antifreeze has a conditioner in it, which is safe for all metals and all materials and all plastics. Number one, the conditioner keeps our seals throughout the RV from drying out. And when I'm talking about seals, I'm talking about toilet seals, I'm talking about gate valve seals, I'm talking about the little O-rings that are inside the little cartridges of our faucets, and any other little valve that we have in the system, ball valves and whatnot, often have these little seals that if you just use an alcohol-based RV formula or none at all, in other words, you don't use an RV antifreeze and you just drain your system out, can dry out. And when they dry out, they tend to stick to the plastic that they're up next to. And when we go to activate a toilet seal, in other words, flush the toilet, or we go to open a gate valve to dump, a lot of times we tear those seals because they've dried out over the winter, and we end up with leaks, or they just dry out and we get cracks in them and they end up seeping. Really common, not something that we don't see often, but this helps prevent that situation from happening between taking it out of storage and putting it back into service. Once it's back into service and all those seals are wetted again, you have less of an issue of that drying out happening. So alcohol free, super important. That's why we use the alcohol free. Also, conversely, the propylene glycol that's in here, as long as we make sure that we're using full concentration, okay, and I think the recommendation is full concentration on this when you're using it, we'll be perfectly fine as far as it acting as a fungus inhibitor or antimicrobial. All right, so we can keep some of that from growing inside of the PEX tubing, which is kind of a common thing. You know, we get every year we get customers coming in and they've got algae, or what looks like algae, growing inside of their freshwater system because they had it in their freshwater tank, they didn't drain their freshwater tank properly, they sucked it up through a pump, or they didn't winterize a particular part of their system properly, or they just used air to blow all the lines out because they wanted to save themselves that $10 a gallon on RV antifreeze. Okay, yeah, that's cool, but Now we've got this this fungus that grew inside, and when we go through and de-winterize and we sanitize the system with our bleach solution, that bleach does a pretty good job of killing that algae. And as that algae releases from the surfaces that it's stuck to, it travels up into the aerator of the faucets. Sometimes it gets stuck in the toilet valves and our toilet won't flush right. Sometimes it gets stuck right inside of the cartridges on the valves of the handles of our faucets and won't allow our faucets to run at all. So quite a few reasons to use a good quality RV antifreeze, guys. I know it's more expensive. We can get the other stuff at the tractor store there for $2.99, okay? And the tractor store has the expensive stuff too. Okay, so don't worry about that. You can still get it there. You just got to pay attention to what the ingredients are, and you really should probably stick to a -50 burst protection. RV antifreeze can still freeze-ish, so it'll slush up. I've had customers actually put gallons of RV antifreeze in a freezer and came back and said, "Hey, look, Eric, it slushes up." And yeah, we know. They've always been telling us that. We understand it slushes up. It just doesn't freeze solid and it doesn't expand obviously like water would. So quick recap, RV antifreeze, a good quality RV antifreeze, run you anywhere from $7 to $10 a gallon. Some of the equipment we use to get our RV antifreeze throughout the freshwater system is our freshwater kits, our winterization kits rather. So we hook these kits right up to our city inlet. We bypass the hot water heater and we pump the RV antifreeze through all of the fixtures until we see pink. And then we let a little extra go down so we get it down into the P-traps of the drain side of the system. And of course, we can't forget our toilet and our black water side of the system. Obviously, all of our tanks need to be emptied ahead of time. Fresh gray and black tanks need to be evacuated ahead of time, as well as the hot water heater. So you heard me mention bypassing the hot water heater. Most modern RVs have a hot water heater bypass on the back of them. So if you have a tank system, a Suburban or a Dometic 6-gallon or 10-gallon hot water heater, there should be a bypass on the inside or somewhere in a wet bay that allows you to run the antifreeze solution from the cold side to the hot side without any longer going through and filling up the hot water heater. Why is that? You don't want to put 6 gallons of this into a 6-gallon hot water heater to be able to get this fluid to the hot water side. So we'll just bypass that. And when we empty that hot water heater, yeah, there'll be water still left in it, about an inch or two. Plenty of room for expanding and contraction. No risk of bursting at that point. After we're done running all the RV antifreeze through the system, and we've got pink everywhere, and we let a few cups go down into the toilet, and we let a half a cup at least go down into each one of the P-traps and drains, and we made sure we didn't neglect any of our outside fixtures, outside kitchen. We don't want to forget that. If we've got a sink in there or any fixtures in there in your wet bay, if you got any fixtures in there, a lot of you guys have the little ports on the side of your RVs. Washer dryers, washer dryer hookups. Don't forget the hookups. Oh, I never use a washer dryer. We don't have one. I've just got hookups. We don't need to have that winterized. Yes, you do. Because every part of the freshwater system is common to each other, which means that even if you don't use it, there's water in it. So we have to make sure that we've taken care of that. And last but not least, we would go and make sure that we had RV antifreeze at the onboard water pump on both sides of it to make sure that we don't have a situation where we freeze our water pump. All right, water pump sitting there. We were drawing water off it all summer, off of the freshwater tank. We drained the freshwater tank. We went ahead and pumped RV antifreeze in, but we forgot to go back and make sure that the pickup side of the water pump was drained and that the supply side or the pressure side of the system rather had RV antifreeze at it and not water still, because they'll ruin them that way. All right, so that's pretty much our quick go over on the RV antifreeze. We offer this service here at Bolt and Notch RV, and again, when you get the winterization performed, it's guaranteed. So any problems that you have in the spring would be covered. And we also include with the price of the winterization is included is the roof inspection, the rodent repellent, and the moisture absorbers that go inside the RV. One to keep the mice out, and the other just to get the residual moisture out of the air. So I'm going to conclude. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching the video. If you like what you saw here, subscribe. Comments, we want comments. So good, bad, or indifferent, let us know what you think. Did we get it on the mark? Should have I included something? What did I miss as I was rattling off here? Let me know. We're just starting out doing a lot of these videos and stuff, and I know there's a lot of good feedback.